Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. Let's go, guys. How's everyone doing? Are you ready, Alex? Are you ready for this, man?
Well, I am ready.
Yes.
I am ready. I am excited. Last week was a great episode with our guest, Jackson Rudolph, who I didn't even really get a chance to tell him. Jackson's my favorite. He is my favorite. It's easy to tell. Jackson is my favorite.
Yes, it's easy to tell every week.
I dig myself some Jackson Rudolph.
Yeah.
So if you haven't yet listened to our episode with Jackson Rudolph, he stayed the whole time. He was a champ. He gave his competitor of the week. He gave input on the should it stay or should it go. He was in. It was a great episode. And his podcast is great as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. It was great. I mean, we dug into things that I didn't really see us getting into, and it was just cool. It was just more like adding a third person to what we do. So it was cool.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. What have you been up to, man? How was your weekend? How was your week so far?
Yeah. Well, weekend was good. Week's been great. Man, I tell you what, I'm going to tell you, this is, buckle up a little bit into Alex's day-to-day. So I got 2 kids.
Yeah.
My daughter's going to be 3 next week.
Okay.
My son is going to be 10 months old next week.
Wow.
Do you know what that means?
Crazy.
My wife and I don't sleep. That's what that
right.
means. That's what that means. Yeah. What was really strange about that, though, Jeff? I'll tell you what. So, right before my son was born, like, we would sleep.
Yeah.
She would go down. My daughter would go to sleep at 7:30 at night, and would wake up at like between 6:30, sometimes 7 in the morning. Imagine that, right?
Yeah.
It was great. And then we add in the second one, and when that happens, you have to they get up, or you wake them up like every 2 to 3 hours to feed them, because you gotta make sure you're still feeding them, whatever.
Yeah.
And then because the one wakes up crying, the other one wakes up. So it's like, once you figure that out, well, then my daughter started potty training. So now she's up. She does a really good job with it, though. I got to tell you, she's super smart. She's really good.
It's cool.
But she gets up. So like almost every hour of the night, she's up. So all that means is that we just don't sleep ever.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow is my niece's 1-year birthday. First birthday. Oh,
that's a big one.
Is tomorrow, and my nephew is 4.5. So So
what are they gonna? What's the plan for the first birthday? What are you guys gonna do?
I have no idea. It's craziness. So it's a big birthday party at like a venue, and
See, that's the weird thing, though, is like they're one, right? So it's like, what do you do? Are you really doing the party for them? Are you doing the party for the other people around? So I tell you, there's
I don't know. Again, I'm the uncle, so I don't really have to say. I just do what I can, support, do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Now, there's a few different types of uncles. Which category do you fall?
Oh God.
Are you the crazy uncle? Are you the cool uncle who's like almost like he's just out there, like he's untouchable, like, oh, Uncle Jeff, oh, he's so cool? Or are you like the nerdy uncle? The nerdy uncle's not so bad. Don't make that sound like it's a bad thing. Like you could be like the bad dad joke type of uncle. Like, what kind of uncle are you? Are you the embarrassing uncle? How about that? Are you that?
I think. All right, so they're still young, so they haven't gotten through all of them. But I think at some point, if you're good at it, you go through all those phases.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been that one that was just always there, and then I've been the one that's been kind of, because of what I do, it's kind of hard to see everybody. But so who knows? And then sometimes they're just wild and crazy. So making sure that they have fun. So I've also been like my nephew's, karate instructor too. So who knows what he thinks about that? But
I tell you what, though, the cool uncle, that's a big deal. So like one of my favorite uncle, I'm gonna make sure I share this with him too. That's hard, man. I got a couple of my favorite are my Uncle Dan and my uncle Tony. All right, they're just the coolest is cool ever, right? There's just a certain level of cool they have with him. Actually, my Uncle Dan went with me to the Irish Open last
Cool.
year. With
No,
that's how
cool
cool he was. He
cool.
He had just retired. Just heard I went. And he went with me. But I tell you what, my wife's Uncle Vic. This dude is so funny. I'm gonna tell you this one, and then we'll move on. So this dude, he's so funny, right? He's a state's prosecutor in Michigan, right? Right. His job is serious, right? Like really, really serious. Like sometimes he ends up working with FBI. He's been on a couple TV shows like mystery murder type stuff, I guess. Yada yada. Anyway, point is, one time my wife and I were going to Michigan and he was out of town. He said, "Sure, come stay at my house. It's great. It's a lake house. You'll love it." And he says, "Hey, if you guys are looking for somewhere to eat, there's a couple different restaurants in town. There's like this American burger place. There's this, there's like I can't remember what he said, like a fast food place." And he says, "There's this Scottish restaurant you should go check out." I'm like, "A Scottish restaurant?" He says, "Yeah, here's the address." So I'm like, "All right, this is really, I've never been to a Scottish restaurant before. Have you ever been to a Scottish restaurant?"
No.
So when he says that, it's immediately the one you're going to pick, right?
Right.
So he sends me the address. So I go there. It's a McDonald's. This dude low-key played it low-key the whole time just so that I would show up and do that.
Oh, my God.
You're the coolest.
Yeah.
You're cool. You're cool.
Got you.
That's a level of cool. He got me. Yeah, well, yeah.
He got you.
Wow.
That's cool.
I bit hard. Yeah, so that's cool. But I tell you, like, the first birthday is a big deal. My friends, Frank and Nadia, right? I'm gonna share this with them too. The coolest first birthday I've ever been to. Their daughter's like a couple months older than my daughter. Like, Jeff, I'm gonna tell you this. So Frank, his real name is like Francesco. So he's Italian as all get out, right?
Of course.
Which in the Chicagoland area, that's common. So, and his wife, Nadia, is Syrian, right? So this is a very loud and ethnic party, and I am loving it. So let's say they got a DJ at this place. This place is catered. They got a dessert bar. They got 2 ponies, 1 year old, 2 bouncy houses.
Wow.
All sorts of get out. A dance floor,
talking about.
Big tents. This is amazing, right?
Sounds like a wedding.
Was a wedding. I was gonna say, if it was a wedding reception, you'd be like, "This is a dang good wedding." No, it was a 1 year old's birthday party. Who could partake in none of that stuff.
Wow, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
have you ever been to like let's see, I'm trying to make sure I say this right. I think it was either Moroccan or Indian wedding. Have you been to one of those?
Neither.
All right, so when I went to my cousin's wedding in Texas, at the same day, like the day before theirs, there was one of those weddings. Well, they pull up in 4 stretch like Escalades, stretch Denali's, huge, with a DJ outside, with people like crowd surfing and just music going, and it went for like 3 days, right? So like while we were doing the wedding,
about those.
It kept going on and on and on, and they were doing this whole epic big, party or whatever before the wedding. Then they went and did their ceremony. Then they come back and I don't remember which, I didn't really get to sit and talk to them, ask them, but I had talked to certain people from it. I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like and this is right in the middle. It was a good time. Oh, it was awesome. It was right next to, it was like I'm trying to remember. I think it was Plano, Texas. So it was near, right around where you could drive enough to go to, Texas Stadium and everything, and huge, just awesome, man. Just again, like
if anybody's having a wedding like that soon, message me, because I would like to partake in something like that.
Yes, I would love to see that. It's crazy. Oh man! All right, so
let's get into. Let's get into our podcast. Let's get into 2020. This has been an interesting and twisty-turny start to this week's episode. But let's get into 2020, man. I mean, we got a lot of stuff happening in sport karate. We got a lot of stuff happening in martial arts. So there was some stuff that Jackson touched on that we were wanting to kind of talk about, get into. Tell me what you were thinking.
Yeah, so there's lots of things when he really got into what he felt as a JPM member, and how a lot of people say that the uniform on your back helps you win, and he sees it in a different way. And I think it's good. That
was a good insight to that as well.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way.
We all believe that's on your back. Dude, you just got 2 extra points.
Correct, but then there's also competitors. There's also competitors that did not happen for,
and he spun it like, oh no, judges want to see us lose.
Right, and I get that too, because
which was good to see that.
When you're at that high level, and you need to have that perspective. Honestly, if you are on that team, you should probably have that perspective, because you can't take a day off. I mean, and I don't think you should anyway. I mean, really, if you want to be at that high level, you're going to win. So that's it. If you win, you win. You lose, whatever. Shouldn't matter what is on your back, right? So
the one thing I will say really good about Paul Mitchell is I've never been on it. But I've had good friends who've been on it, and Elias and Greg. And they do a good job of keeping the mindset of at least the fighters sharp, as if it's us against everybody. It's us against everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And and when you have that mindset all the time, like, you are going to be sharp. So I really like that. So Steve Babcock is really good at doing that.
He is. And one thing that we always, I don't know, I think you have talked about in a little bit, like, okay, the forms competitors can do what they want to do. Yeah. Yes and no. I don't really think that. I see them.
Why not?
At the most part, I really do see them trying to be a unified team, because, like Jackson said, he almost always is behind Damon, watching that team fight. He is there. I remember for years Matt Emming being there. Those guys really into what they're doing. And then when they had the meetings, they're all there. I remember the meetings, all of hanging out with people from Paul Mitchell and stuff after their Diamonds meeting, and it would be taking forever, and all of them were there, and they were trying to be a unit. I don't know if it. I mean, of course, there's that division with anything, but
now wait, Jeff, I'm gonna stop you there. Yeah. I really think for this point, for exactly what we're talking about, we need to utilize the resource that we have available to us.
All right.
All right, Travis, we're asking you to come on.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey.
So Jeff and I have 2 different takes. And you are the one who knows exactly what's going on. Okay, so my take is about we just happen to fall into this conversation about GPM.
That's what I've heard.
So my take is that the forms competitors can do whatever the heck they want. They can kind of watch the fighters. They can not, whatever, as long as they show up and do their job and show up to the meetings, they're good. But Jeff is having a different take on it. Just give us light. What is it really? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, Jeff, then tell me.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I do feel like the forms competitors don't just say, hey, this is a sponsorship, that's it. They really take it as this is a team, and they want to be a part of it. Now, not all of them do that, but I do know a good amount of them that were really heavily involved in trying to be and have that relationship with some of the fighters, So,
right. So what's it like when fighters are fighting? Where are the forms guys?
It depends. It depends on if they're running or not. If they have their division, then they are. If they don't have their division, they're right behind us. They are cheering.
Yeah.
I remember looking over and seeing like Kalman or Matt Emick being behind me and cheering on, depending on if they were done for the night, especially in team fights. And honestly, just put it this way: during team fights, they're there. Okay.
All of them?
Yes, that's true.
It depends. Because Caitlyn might not. I mean, yeah, Caitlyn might not have been there because she was getting ready to do her 8th division or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And Mark at that time was dating her, so he would be over there cheering her on. So he wouldn't necessarily be around us. You know what I mean? So then if she was done, if Mark was done, if everybody else was done, chances are there was no tricking session that was going on. Matt might have been over there, whatever the case may be. But for the most part, like, they're there. Now, when you switch it, vice versa.
Right.
We weren't necessarily there for them, during the divisions. I will put it that way.
Were you asked to be, though?
No, we weren't. We weren't asked to be there in the morning. Like they'll say blah blah, but they just kind of just knew that the fighters weren't getting up at 9 a.m. going down there. It just wasn't happening. But you would, as soon as on stage at nighttime, we're standing up. If we're screaming our head off as they walk on that stage, you know what I mean. But we were not getting, fighters were not getting up at 9 a.m. unless we had like a student there, and we had to go coach the student or something.
Yeah.
But we weren't getting.
And it also depends on the year. If you guys have, which you have for a while, have a few juniors on the team. So, but really most of the time adults don't compete to like 10 or 11 or 12 or something. So
okay, so I got another question.
That time we weren't fighting until 1 o'clock. So we knew we weren't getting down there till like 11.
Yeah. Right.
And some of the people were already done with their stuff, or they were doing traditional or something to the fact that it was just like, all right.
Would you looked at it like perfect?
Yeah.
Well, I would have more or less liked to have cheered on, because like I had like certain relationships, like Calman and I got a little bit closer when he went to Ireland. So like I would make sure if I had a chance, I would talk to Calman or cheer on Matt. I don't know how Matt and I, probably a drunken night, but
it's easy to like Matt. It's hard not to like Matt.
Yeah. Right. But it's like I don't remember the conversations, how it started. But now, if I see Matt, especially if I see Mark around here in Atlanta, we're sitting there chopping it up for a good 10, 15 minutes, just talking about whatever, what's going on.
That's cool. Man.
Well, here's a question though. So, because I think all that's true, but if the forms competitors aren't there behind you, do you care?
Not necessarily, no. Like, because I would think that they had something they were doing. I wouldn't look at.
Let's say none of them showed up. Does that?
So when we were doing team, no, it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not the point. That's not what we're saying, though, Alex. It's just that if they are, they are. If they aren't, they aren't. Doesn't matter.
Right.
But they're doing it because they want to be a team. That's it.
Yeah,
it's not because they have to be a team. It's because
if I'm running my division and Justin's not behind me, I'm not freaking out. Like, it's like,
all right. Now let's transition to this one. Jeff, you remember we were in the same hotel room talking about this. This is in the Hayabusa moment. Okay. So, and I'm the only one who speaks up for anything. All right. So Mike Conroy says, "Who's doing forms?" And it was like Lily and you and like someone.
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, everybody's down there at this time." It was like 8 a.m. And I'm like, "What? What sense does that make? Like, I'm not competing until 2. What's the point of this? This is dumb." Everybody down there at 8 a.m. No.
We had to do that on SES. And on SES, we had to go down there in the morning because we had to cheer on Gandhi, Matt Bowles, Matt Mullins. We had to cheer them all on. So we had to be down there. My uncle wasn't playing that. So we would go down there, and then some people would be on time, some people wouldn't. And
I don't think there were any junior forms competitors on the team at that time. There's junior fighters, but
we had junior fighters. I don't believe we had any junior.
No, we did, Jeff. That's when we did the
No, for us, yeah. I'm talking about SES, but yeah.
Yeah,
you
right,
guys,
yeah.
you guys.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't
we.
remember if Gandhi came on as an adult or not.
No, he was a junior. Yeah, he was a junior. So
he was a
because
junior
we were in the same division. It was 15, 17. So
yeah.
our last year.
Okay, so I'm gonna paint the picture why it's not good to do that though. So the exact tournament that I was mentioning, it was a U.S. Open. Okay, and
I wasn't even at the meeting.
You were there, all right? So, and this is messed up stuff because everybody who's been there will giggle when I say this. I say, all right, the meeting is in the hallway right outside the tournament.
Yeah.
That is the longest hallway in the history of the world. Where the hell are we meeting? It doesn't mean anything.
That's so true.
Anyway.
That's so true.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I'm like 3 minutes late to the meeting because I'm running up and down the hallway trying to, oh, you're over here. You're late. Yada, yada. Whatever. I don't care. Still there at 8 a.m. We got to watch everything. Sure enough, men's fighting is the last thing to happen. Can't leave the freaking convention center. So, this is a true story. None of the fighters fought well. We all fought like trash, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the punishment was we got punished because nobody won the division. We got punished, except Roman. So, the punishment was we had to go to the finals.
Yeah.
Which was starting in 15 minutes because that's how long the tournament goes. So we had to go there. We had to sit there, and I'm like, man, I'm the grown man. I'm not being punished. That's not how this is going. Like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go to my room and change. Like, no, you're going to stay here. I'm like, no, I'm going to go change. I'll come back because I have people that I'd kind of like to see, but I'll be back. And everyone's like, oh, how do you do that? Literally. So Ross Cook, he don't make waves. He don't. This dude was in his karate uniform until 11:45 at night because he didn't want to go to his room and make any waves. That's how dumb that is. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't remember any of that, but I was competing, so I don't know. I was on stage.
Exactly, you were on stage. You did good. We were happy with you.
Yeah, I was more.
Who had to be
people
there,
were mad at me that I only did one
around.
division. I remember they were mad at me that I only did one division that time, and then they asked me to do more. And then the next time, they were upset that I did want to do more. So I don't know what they wanted.
You know
so,
what I mean? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Travis. But yeah, man. As far as with that, the other thing that was cool was that he just talked about like his favorite division and stuff, and I kind of get that too. It's like you have that division that you want to like prove to people that what I can do this or that, and then you have that division that just feels awesome, And like you said, there's nothing like the crowd going wild, and I think that's what's cool about musical forums, and I just always call it creative forums, but whatever.
Yeah.
That style and being on stage and getting the crowd wild. And for me, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like there's nothing like that when that energy is going crazy and they're all pumped up, and everything. But at the same time, a lot of people know me for Korean forums. So there is only one time that I can think of the crowd being as wild for me doing my open forum as in Korean. And it was at 2013 Super Grand. So that was Charleston, South Carolina, one of the biggest ones we've had. And Singal, this is that time that Singal was his highest level, right? So he came down to Super. He came down to Super Grands that year and did the traditional grand. So he did like a traditional style Kung Fu form.
Yeah.
And then he also did the open, the contemporary one. So like we were going head to head, and I was the defending champion. I'd won overall grands 3 years in a row. And I'm still the underdog. Like I'm pumped up. I'm excited about this because I've been wanting to do this for a while against him. And also in like a format that felt like really fit, like it made sense with a traditional style with us two going head to head. And I mean, the place was shaking to me. Like I was almost like freaking out because when I got up there, they said Jeff Doss, the whole place was going crazy.
Wow.
I never felt that before, especially for a traditional form. I'm like, shaking like, this is cool. And it came down to 1/100th. You know, I got 2 10s, he got 2 10s. Someone gave me an 8, someone gave him a 9, and that's what kind of flipped it. And I think, yeah, actually the determining judge was Keith Weston. So it was pretty cool, man. It was a lot of fun.
He got it or you got it?
He got it about 1/100th, and and then he ended up losing to Tim. Tim ended up taking it to him in the contemporary, and so it was a really cool event, man. Tim Conquel, sorry.
But it sounds like, as a whole, you're saying that there really is nothing like being on a stage and doing your open musical or creative form. It's something.
Yeah, in some ways, either musical or creative, whatever. Because I feel like I've had those big moments with music and without music. I think too many people rely on music, and we've talked about that.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I actually agree with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, way too much. And I don't think that should look much different. Like I remember people that would do musical forms and not ki because they didn't want to. They felt like their ki would overpower the music. I'm like, well, turn the music up then. Like, what are you thinking? Like if you think that's the thing, it's like it should be music that elevates your form. It shouldn't be just doing something to music. Like it should be a whole package. And so that was something that I never liked, was when people like didn't ki with it or things like that. In NBL for a while, the thing was to walk up and have your intro recorded already. This was like 90s, dude. I don't know if you ever saw this, but this was crazy.
I have seen
that was during the sparkling uniform era, when people would come up with a sequence gi, and then their music would already be going. Oh, you're crazy. And then
I really like that.
And then the sequence uniform. You like the sequence uniform?
Not necessarily that, but in the sense that it's a different uniform. It's shiny. Yeah. It's out there. We're doing a form that's wild and out there. Why are we going to wear a muted uniform?
No, I get that. That's cool. All right. I'm going to tell you some of the coolest NBL musical forms I've seen as far as that, like stage presence type thing, right? A guy named Mario Saldivar did a form where he came out with a sombrero and all this stuff.
Get the hell out of here.
Walked in, and I don't remember what music, but, he's from San Antonio, made it a big, Mexican style thing. He finishes with a jump spin outside crescent into the splits. When he finishes, all his team throws roses on him while he's in the
Shut up.
Yeah, it is the craziest thing ever. Sorry. At first, I'm like, this is so stupid. Then I'm get back and think, like, dude, that was kind of cool. Like, all right.
That's cool. Really cool.
Yeah. And then, of course, Butch Tokusala doing his form, being carried to the ring in a coffin, comes out, does his combo form, finishes Death's Drop right back into the coffin to carry him out. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, just like
what?
Outrageous things like that. A lot of Mouse Krasno forms back in the day were like that.
She was good.
She did a lot of, like the James Bond type stuff. Can
I say something about that? I think NBL was way better at that.
Stage presence in a lot of ways, yes. My problem was that they, like I said, they didn't take it to that next level. That's why a lot of them didn't really get the legendary status that NASCAR people did, because they did these things and they focused so much on the performance instead of putting the, like, molding martial arts in it all together. Like, the intensity, like, the music shouldn't, well, I don't want to mess up the music or the theme of it, so I'm not going to be as intense. No, be freaking intense. Like, put it all in there, like, that was just my only thing with that. And I think people it got too much mimicry, like, everyone tried to be like Adrian Ulanoff and all these. I mean, there's so many names, like, there's so many good ones that are still like
Jeff. I'm gonna ask you this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you this because next weekend, is gonna be not this coming weekend. The next one is gonna be the AKA Warrior Cup, and Travis and I are gonna be there. And I'm gonna ask some people, because we're gonna do some interviews, and I'm gonna ask them, like, who are your top 5 performances of all times?
Right.
But you're not going to be there.
No, I'm not going to be there.
So I'm going to ask you now.
Oh, my top
I'm
5.
asking you your top 5.
Not forms competitors, like the performances. The performances I remember.
Man, woman,
Yeah.
child,
Right.
like this thing was the business.
Right. And I didn't have to be there live, right? Just the ones I've seen.
What is it? You saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So John Valera's final form, Diamonds 99. That's one.
Okay.
Definitely one. The Crow. Carmichael Simon.
Yep.
I would have to say Vince Johnson, one of his forms where he did, I think, I'd say the best one was probably the French Open where Matt and those guys brought the combos to him and everything. It was just cool, man. It was just fun. That was definitely one. Those 3, Kalman Choka's final performance, Diamonds. I'd have to put that in there.
That might be the best.
Yeah, that was one of the best. And
how many is that? Is that 4?
That's 4. David Douglas.
Which one?
World Series of Martial Arts '98. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Where he did the double leg spin hook.
He did the double. He did the 2 doubles. He did the double and the double leg.
He did the Misty spin hook double leg. Yeah.
No, you say Misty. If you kiss today, don't know what that is.
Yeah, I know, but still, or whatever they call it. So yeah, man. Exactly. So, and again, you may talk to me another day. Like I didn't mention one Matt Hemming form, which is crazy. I probably should have done that. He's like my favorite competitor.
But see, that's the other thing.
There's some traditional forms where I'm like, dude, like a Keith Weston form to me could be like that. You know, there honestly, a John Sue when he did the double whip chain, pretty awesome stuff. You know, there's a lot of things like that.
I'm curious as to what these people are gonna say, because you might catch me on a certain day and I might say, "Oh, it's Mike Chat when he wore the Wizard uniform."
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't that great.
No, but it was a cool thing. Yeah.
But it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things like that. I mean, there's so many different ones, man, where you can think. You just gotta be in that moment. You know what I mean? Like for me, there's so many ones. Right. For me, like when people ask me, what was your best performance? Depends on the mood and when you ask me what my best performance was. Because, I mean, there's just a lot of different ones. And it just the meaning of it, you know? So. This might be loaded. I don't know how this answer is going to go. But is one of your best performances one that you feel like that was my best? One you didn't win? Yes, several times. Yeah.
Because I can tell you,
definitely.
My best performance ever. I didn't even win my division. I should have.
Right.
I didn't win. But I'm like, oh no, that stuff right there. I don't know that I could have done better. And if I didn't win, I don't win. That's fine. But there's nothing I could have done that was better than what I just did. Not at that moment.
Now, one of my best Korean forms I ever did, and at that moment felt, was the U.S. Open before Hayabusa, the year before that, right? And I went on my own and showed up, and I got off the plane, literally
so you're talking 2014.
Yeah, 2 hours before I competed, and went right there and competed, and then left. Like I was like, I'm coming here to win my division and make it a stage. Something like that.
You got off the plane
that morning, yeah.
Beelined it right to the tournament.
Yeah, competed, yeah, and I killed. And no, I killed it, man. I should have won. I got 7th place in a Korean division.
That's what. Is it so? No. I tell you what, the Korean division is freaking odd. It is so odd.
The term before that, times I won.
There were exactly right. You just said it. I'll never forget. There was a tournament. And I remember. I think it was at the Diamonds, and I was eyeballing Marcel Jones because he had just won the Korean division and was in the finals.
Yeah.
With that, and he had just went, and then I went after him and got a higher score. And he looked at me like, "Damn, dude, you're gonna win this whole thing." Nope.
Yeah.
I took 4th.
Right.
And he's looking at me like, I don't even know what just happened. I think he took 6th. He won the division 3 weeks before that.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
I don't think no other division.
In no other division. No, that was Diamonds. That was
all right.
Yeah,
No, at U.S. Open when I came back and I did NASCAR for 2 or 3 tournaments, 2009. It was like that. Like Anthony Murata came back, Marcel was there, and none of them won. And I think I got 4th and beat them or something. And it was still
it's the flavor
like,
of the week. It literally doesn't matter.
Weird, man. So
it does. I've never seen anything like it. It's the only division,
the NASCAR Korean division, pretty
where
much.
you could just be like, who knows?
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's talk about some stuff that's going to happen this year.
This year, yeah.
So 2020 is on. The first quarter of tournaments is. I really feel like I don't want to go with courts. I want to take the tournament competition season into like 3 trimesters, right? The first trimester, everybody is jacked up about. They're so jacked.
So what do we say?
Let's just say like
January to May, really?
Let's just say that January to May.
Because really, June, July, August is its own one, even though it's shorter, but it's still its own one. You know what I mean? Because
you really are.
Battle and U.S. Open back to back, and some of the DC and some of the other international tournaments. So yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
And they're so important as well. And now this year in August, there's going to be a world championship in August.
Yeah.
So that's really going to be its own season. And then after that,
and then
talking like
September, October, November.
September on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. But the first part of the year, like everybody's excited. Right now, it's buckle up. Everybody's excited. It's kind of like football season.
Right.
The first couple weeks of football season, everybody thinks they got a shot.
Yeah.
You get into like week 8, you're like, we suck.
Yeah.
You know, or we're the greatest thing since sliced bread. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah.
So right now, everybody's excited.
AK
is coming.
Into AK. And then you have Competes, which we'll see. And then Irish Open,
March, there's a lot of tournaments in March, though.
Well, there's a lot of regional tournaments in March. I don't think there's a NASCAR World Tournament in March anymore.
I don't
think so.
If there is. When is America count?
America's in the end of May. They're in Memorial Day.
That's what I thought.
Now, so
Memorial Day weekend. That's a bad.
So they're kind of like. That's why I think they're at the end. Like I would say that tournament would be the end of that first kind of,
It's probably
part.
So we should probably say like the first trimester is really like to April, and then it
maybe.
Should be like.
But
maybe
there's a gap. What I'm saying
that.
is like there's a gap in March really with national tournaments. You know what I mean?
Well, yes and no, because I think Junior Salientes, he has a tournament. He has his tournament in March too, and it's like a local / national type of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm just saying like the world level events. Now, April,
Correct.
Usually Austrian Classics is around April.
Austrian Classic is mid-April.
And then the end of April is Quebec City. So, yeah, I mean, around that. But so.
And then there's also Ocean State Grand Nationals.
Yes. So, I mean, there's no more New England Open. There's no more Grand Slam. There's some other ones in there.
Well, let's put it like this. There's no more New England Open right now that we know of.
Yeah.
There's no sign of it popping up. Grand Slam is on a break.
Oh yeah. No,
break.
I talked to both promoters today, so it was okay.
Talked to both. That's good. That was a good one. That was a good. You made me giggle on that one. So, but let's look at it though. Okay, so I think let's save the AKA predictions for next week because that's what's going to happen because we'll be right before the tournament.
Right.
But let's look at this. Let's make some bold predictions
for this.
I don't want to say bold. Let's just talk about for the season. No, let's just do it right now. Let's just say whatever we think, and we'll come back at this maybe later, and we'll look at this and say, "Yo, we said this person was going to be this. We said this person was going to be this."
Let's get into the one we really want to get into first.
What's
team
that?
Fighting. Teams.
All right.
You go. Because I know
it's hard for me. Because the team has got to stay together. It's so hard with team fighting. Because if they're all there, then if everybody's all there and everybody's all healthy, okay, that makes your job easy.
Yeah.
That's neither one of those things are ever the case.
Ever happened? Yeah. Yeah.
Never the case. So, and even if everyone's healthy, like let's say all-stars.
Mm-hmm. Man,
All-stars, they're healthy. They're just not all there.
They're never all there, and they could be.
And I gotta tell you, I don't know what their sponsorship is right now.
That's true as well.
Because I think they had SAP.
Yeah, the last
and I'm
time.
not sure that that's still the case.
So I would
should
say
ask Ross. I don't know
if they could get 2 events in the States, and then I know there are going to be it's going to be a team event at Irish Open, so they'll be at Irish Open, and they'll probably be at Compete. They'll probably put everybody.
Be at Compete, and then
did you hear Raymond's interview on Sport Martial Arts?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so he talked about that.
I knew that.
Yeah, me too.
And their flight would always go to Chicago first, and I would end up on that flight, and then we'd go.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I was always on the same flight as them.
That's cool.
Since I'm talking about it, I'm going to tell you, if All Stars is together, they're the team of the year.
With Elijah, Kevin, Jack, Robbie, that 4. And then if you want to add in, if Ross competes, I don't know what Leon's status is if he's even training anymore.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. So everybody's been like wondering, like, what's up with Ross? What's up with? I'm going to tell you. Here's what's up with Ross Cook. Okay, Ross Cook is not in Ireland. Ross Cook is in Chicago. All right.
All right.
He's not in the service. This dude's in the city. So he went and did his undergrad at the University of Trinity in Dublin. Graduated. Then he went to Notre Dame and did his graduate school. Now he's working. He's downtown Chicago. Ross had a surgery about a year ago, shoulder surgery. So he's rehabbing that. But he's been telling me he's about ready to train. He's about ready to be after it.
Yeah.
He thinks he's good to go. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's ready. If good to go is we'll start training together because he's kind of already been doing a little bit. Or is good to go meaning let's go to a tournament. Because that dude is freaking fast, freaking strong, and deceptively a good kicker. But if you asked him to do one kick, sorry, Ross. If you just looked at one kick, you'd be like, oh, don't do that. That looks ugly. Right? But the dude, as a whole, like he's really freaking good. So I don't know. Like if you add him in there, like, oh man, All Stars could be something.
And see, for me, I would love to just see Leon come back to do something. That's just, man, he was just that one that got away in some ways,
No, you know why? I tell you what, I want to see Leon come back. Leon, you ever see Leon's outfits?
Yes.
I don't have the courage to wear what this dude wears. And he always has a level of cool that's above everybody else.
He's the only person that like rivals Anthony Merrick's on the outfits, man.
Nah, I think his is a little up there. His is better.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I ain't got not either one of them. But I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah.
So I say
you'd say All Stars.
I'm gonna say All Stars.
I say that. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a 3-team type thing. It's them, it's Taco Dojo, and then I feel like I see like the top 10 USA like actually.
That's the
beating people from time to time, because they do have people. All the people they picked up win their division.
And here's wild.
Weight-wise, it's a little different. But
we're talking about this, and all of those teams were there at the Diamonds.
Yeah.
And we're talking about KTOC and straight up. And we're not even mentioning those teams.
Correct. Well,
who knows what happens with them?
That's true. But not all those teams actually had teams like in the, and that's something that's weird.
No, they did. Oh, no.
All Stars didn't have one. Top 10 did not have one.
All Stars chose not to.
Right. But Top 10 didn't have one either. They didn't have a team.
Correct. You're right.
But I think the only one was Enrique that was there. I don't know if Blake was there. But, yeah, I mean, now, so it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to flip-flop a lot this year. And
Yes.
we're not mentioning the team that everyone wanted to bring up last year, which was Proper. I don't know what lineup they're gonna have.
We've seen them come out with some stuff.
Legend is consistent. They're at all the events. Who knows what KTOC is gonna do?
You know what?
And
How about this?
ones.
How about some wild stuff? Gypsy,
Yeah,
won the AKAs one year.
that's right.
Beating Impex.
Right. So
with Ross.
Correct.
So,
man,
it's some crazy stuff could happen.
It's going to be good. And there's so many teams now, and I think all of them have a good, there's not a team that's sponsored that's just way down. You know what I mean? Like there's teams that can do it. So
I do want to see if Impact does something. I do want to see if they get
somebody.
love to
see that. I would love to see that. I mean, a few years ago, I'd say 2 years ago, they were the team. You know what I mean? Like they just, especially for team fighting, and it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, because they had 3 heavyweights. They had Ross,
they did,
Jason, and Avery.
Yeah,
and then
Willie as their,
no, look at it like that. There you go. Yeah. And then Willie, like,
yeah,
if you have that, like, it's not fair.
No, it's not.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, that was cool. And again, it's just like those are people that don't make many mistakes, and if they do, it's what I mean. Like that's where the difference is. They don't make mistakes, man. So it's cool. I'm excited for that. For women, let's say a breakout woman. Who do you think is going to be that one who either takes it from where they're like the champ to being the champ, or someone who's just coming up? Do you have any idea?
I think it's probably Lily.
Yeah, I think she has the most potential. I think Faith has a lot too, but I think Lily in the long run is better.
I think Lily's just had more experience,
high level experience
at that level.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Lily.
Yeah, I would say her. I think
who do you think?
I think no. I would definitely say her. I'd like to see more of Kaya. Not Kaya. Kaya Miyamoto. I think her name's Miyamoto from Top 10. She's from Dumb Lao School in Cali. She won open weight at Diamonds. We'd like to see more of her. I know she's done well when she's competed internationally. So we'd like to see more of her. I'd like to see 1 or 2 of the Europeans come over more this year, man. Would love to see that. But I don't know if it will happen.
Yeah. It's interesting. Okay, who do you think?
Here's one more that needs to compete. Elise Gorel needs to compete more.
Yes, Elise Gorel. If Elise Gorel competed all the time,
man,
we'd be talking. We'd be like, I've never seen Elise Gorel and Morgan fight.
They have, yeah.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
But at the same time,
but if they were competing all the time, we'd be talking.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because they're in different weight classes. They would meet.
Yeah.
And we'd be talking.
Yeah. It's cool, man.
Because Elise is about it. She can do it.
Yeah.
Although she does do this, she does because she works with Trevor.
Yeah, that's what
she does the thing where she flexes at the end. She should not do that. She should not. She's
like this big.
She should not put up the biceps and flex. At least you're good. That leaves a little something to be desired in the bicep department.
All right. What about breakout male? Who's going to change? Who's going to make a big difference this year? Who's going to be that? We had so many people this year that like stepped up. Like who do you think? I think you have someone. I see your
breakout male. It really kind of depends because I'm looking at some of the teams, right? So Proper's got some teams. His guys got some people on the team that can pop in. But you know who else does is DKS.
Mm-hmm.
They got Anil. Like if Anil was competing all the time, like I could see a scenario where he wins his division, you
Right.
know, no, 2/3 of the time. And he might, and if that's the case, well, that would be a breakout in comparison to what he's been doing.
Where is he from?
Italy.
Okay.
Sicily.
All right. That's what I thought. Yeah. Man, there's so many. See, Proper has what, two? Two from Italy? And then DKS has one.
Three. She's got 3 Italians. There's
Well,
another
yeah,
dude.
with the female, yeah. So
There's Elena, Neo, and I don't know, man. I'm Italian, but I don't know how to say that.
yeah,
So
Dave.
there's another dude.
David. There's a David.
David.
And there's
Yeah,
another
let's
one.
just say David.
Yeah,
that guy.
Gufati or whatever.
I don't
And
know.
then there's another one. So
there's 4.
yeah. No, but I don't know, man. Anyways, there's a lot of great Italian fighters.
It could be
out
that.
there. So yeah.
I'm hopeful that the breakout fighter of the year is Zach Winder.
Okay.
This dude has got the talent. He's got it all. Zach, we're putting it together. Okay? We're putting it together, homie. There's a few fighters that I just really feel like you should just stop losing.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no physical reason why you should be losing.
Should losing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say Zach Winder.
I'm thinking like really hard right now, man. I don't know. Like, there's so many. I'm gonna go with someone who I thought started their year like they were going to be that, and then got injured and had things. And I think this year maybe they could. And I'll put Hector Solari. I think Hector Solari has the talent.
That's a good point.
Is in that weight class range. And has a good sponsorship and support of Velocity.
But is he really breaking out though? I mean, he's kind of already out.
No, he kind of did break out. I know, but I'm saying like when I say break out, depends on what you mean.
Possible
like,
to be like the fighter of the year.
The top 2 or 3. You know what I mean? So, now as far as breaking out and being a name that may, I like to see.
That's what I mean. Like,
I like to see Lucas Allen really start winning his division. Really start doing something. That's who I would like to see. That.
Isn't he in the welterweights?
I think so.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. Sorry, homie.
No, yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I just think I think that you just got you got to look at it differently. All
right. What about forms? Who in this so hard to break out when you're forms because there's the process.
I just don't know who's going to be competing, man. I don't know
really
that.
Know. But with forms, it never comes out of nowhere. You always see it coming.
Somewhat. There are some times where there's people that like either come back or come out of nowhere, or that they had all the talent, but they just didn't compete enough. It's like when Michael Guthrie started really competing on the circuit. He was breakout. Like he never won, but you knew that dude had the talent to pull out a form because he could do things that nobody could ever do. And tricking.
Still can do things nobody can do.
Right. He's still in a lot. I'd say so. In my mind, he's the best active tricker out there. But yeah, so it's just that kind of thing, I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of people that come back this year.
You think people come back?
I think some older people are going to do something. I think you're going to see.
You got some intel?
The senior people are really pushing for seniors to get respect and everything else. But I think there's going to be some that want to compete in the 18. There's going to be some that want to, I just think that needs to happen more. I think I'd like to see a Mike Welch compete in 1829. I like to see myself compete in 1829. I like to see.
Well, you have a control
Jason,
over that one.
Yes, I know. But I'm just saying, like, I would like to see those type of people. I would love to see I think that, there's some people that were injured and stuff that they're probably coming back. Hopefully Danny will come back this year, which would be good. I don't think Pinto will be coming back, but I would love to.
Danny Etkin,
I think.
How old is he?
Like 19 or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Well, Aiden Kennedy, if he ever came back, that would be. that would be done, son. So he's probably one of my top 2 favorite trickers right now.
So,
yeah. And he's still young, actually. I think he's probably only
what do
15,
you think?
16.
What do you think? Like, who's coming back? You mentioned this. You said you think some people are coming back.
I just think it's time. It's open. You know what I mean? Right now, I think people from my generation want to compete again. I think people, like, and once they get that bug, it's kind of like, you know what? Why not go for it? If I can, why not? So it's fun, man. And I think the old school is going to become the new school. I just really believe that, because it's gotten so far fetched with the tricking and everything, and then there's only so much you can do that is consistent, that all the forms look the same. So
do you think there's going to be a new trend?
I hope not. I don't like trends, but yeah, I mean,
it doesn't. It's inevitable. It's forms.
Yeah, it is.
It's a copycat. It's a copycat system.
It is.
Whatever someone does that's cool, people do.
Yeah.
And they'll take the move. They'll do it themselves. I was annoyed when everybody did a back fist in their form. For freaking 3 years.
Oh yeah.
People would do all the time. So
actually, what's funny, people still do the thing that me and Gandhi and all of us did that we started back in the 2000s.
What?
The punch at the end of the form.
Correct.
Yeah, everyone still does that.
But if you asked them
no one licks it like I did, but I did it so that way I could make sure they know.
But if you asked them why and where that came from, they'd have no idea.
They have no clue.
No clue. No clue.
They don't even know what the actual meaning of.
Of course, they don't know, and let's not tell them.
Yeah, let's not tell them. So that's always funny. Wow. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it's so hard when you're thinking of forms competitors who are going to break out. I just feel that way just because I feel like you always see them coming. So let's look at it like what's breakout. Let's just say, all right, who do we think is going to start winning some championships that hasn't really won them before? I think Noelle Jillison. I think she's going to win. I think she's going to win a couple championships. All right. I think if she puts it together.
Is she going to be an adult?
Yep.
All right. Well, yes. Then there you go. I did not know she was moving up to adult.
I think she is. Wait. Let me say this. I think she is. I don't know for certain. I don't know the age, but I think she's going to be.
And you know who else I think is moving up?
Who? Haley?
No, I'm talking about male. Another Infinity. God, why did we mess up his name again?
Will?
No, Will's already up there.
Yeah.
Alex, I don't know how much he's going to do. I don't know how much Alex Riggs is going to do, but I think consistently he could. I know he's in college and stuff. Connor Chastain.
Connor Chastain, yeah.
Yeah, I think he does move up this year. He could definitely.
He's got
it. Yeah. So
he's got the potential that he could be that guy.
I would love to see that. You know what? Another one, Alex Mancias that just got picked up.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that. I haven't really
interesting to see where he goes.
We'll see how that goes.
His mom was a very big female competitor in the mid '90s for NBL years ago. I think she was on the firefighters team, legendary firefighters team back in the day. So Eva Ramirez. So pretty cool lineage. So, but yeah, man. All right. What else you think?
Let's look at. There's a bunch of other stuff.
Let's say one or two tournaments that you think are gonna blow up that maybe didn't. I know both of us have already mentioned this before. We both say Infinity's going to. I agree. I think
Infinity will.
I think the WKC in Spain will be consistent. I don't know if it will be as big as this past year because of the way that Canada and USA supports. I think it's going to be a good one. I think that, I'd like to see Atlanta keep growing. I think they have a good thing going. I like how they do different stuff. I think that they should be having us doing live shows this year.
They should.
So, and that would be cool. So reach out to us.
Every tournament really should. I mean,
Yeah.
think because and I don't know. I'm just trying to be boisterous, but it's just
something different, man.
we're someone that people listen to, know about, and have been there and have done all this.
Yeah.
And we're speaking about your event. Bring us in.
Let's go.
Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have really kind of felt like I think the Bristol Open is going to take off. I think there's going to be more attendance at that. This year, I'm not sure. Because it's so close to the WKC in Spain that with the amount of...
Is it?
Well,
it used to always be around near...
Isn't it in early
I thought it was
September?
in September. I thought it was in September, yeah, but WKC...
Well, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Early.
WKC is going to be in like mid-August, right?
Yeah.
Or mid-August or late August or something like that.
Right.
So if they're right there, I just feel like... Yeah. So... Yeah, WKC being August 1st.
Man, that changes a lot. So
it does change it. It's hard to do that for a week and then come back, turn around, and go to Bristol. I don't know. I really feel like that.
You're still in the summer though, man. So you can make it work.
Still, yeah.
Well,
let's just go with continental U.S. What ones would be bigger? There's ones I hope for. And then I sit back and I get reality and I'm like, come on. Like, I hope that Compete is going to be big. But then I'm like, what evidence have I been shown of that?
Yeah.
So a new one that's going to be bigger. Maybe Pan Am's is just going to be bigger than it has been.
I think
maybe that's going to be the big one.
I think Pan Am's is going to keep growing. I was getting excited about this event in Portugal. I think it was called the Grand Internationals. But I think it's the same weekend as Pan Am. So it's going to hinder them some. But they're bringing in a lot of people. They've contacted me several times about it and what they're doing.
This event in Portugal?
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, man. Sounds like a cool, different place. Go to Portugal. And they have different types of events, so they'll have a whole Taekwondo tournament. They'll have a whole sport karate tournament. They're going to make this thing huge. So excited to see what that's about, So
okay.
I'm always intrigued by the international events.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
Who's going to be the male fighter of the year?
Oh yeah, we didn't get to that.
Let's just. What are you gonna say? The male fighter of the year is gonna be who? And then let's move on. What do you say?
Bailey Murphy.
Bailey Murphy.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm saying it's Avery.
All right.
Okay. All right. Not a lot of reason why.
Just let's go.
We just think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. All right. Our competitors of the week. Let's see. So
who's going first?
You go first.
All right. So my competitor of the week is Joey Greenhalgh. So Joe Greenhalgh's son. If you know Joe Greenhalgh, owner, coach of Team Straight Up, owner of G-Force Weapons, ran New England Open for many years. His son, Joey Greenhalgh, just legendary bow competitor for what he did innovative-wise, you know what I mean? Like one of the first ones to release the weapon, one of the first ones to put the weapon over the shoulder, around the neck, many different things. Also, one of the first ones to do like weapons that were glittery and shiny.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Hakamas that were glittery and shiny. The music.
Talk about sequence.
He also did he had a bow where he pushed the button and like a flame came out of it. Things like that he did. Theatrics and things. Joey and I, let's see, he might be like 6 months older than me or something like that. So we grew up competing with each other, against each other. And Joey became a really, really good fighter. and you know what?
Oh, yeah.
He defeated many people. He surprised many people. He was like that underdog that kind of just, you know what? He could sneak up on you. He was also a great third person for team fighting, I thought. You know, like
Yes.
I would put him in that category of like a Freddie LePan or a Russ Taylor
No, he's
or
better
a
than
Reggie
both of them.
No, right, but no timeout. But or like a Reggie Perry or something like that. That was a
That's a
great
good comparison.
third man for a team. You know what I mean? Like now individually, he did better than those guys. Russ was like the super lightweight for a good 2 to 3 years, but still, but I mean, like this guy he was able to just pull it together, you know. He was like that underdog, but he also, like, when you watched him fight, maybe it wasn't impressive, but he had everyone on the sidelines cheering for him. You know what I mean? Like they were just pumped up, and that's what was cool watching. That was what was cool watching him fight, was just that crowd that got behind him all the time. And then when Straight Up kept growing and growing and growing, then it got like even more. You know what I mean? So it was awesome. He's one of the most innovative people with the bow. Man, I mean, a DJ every year at the Irish Open for years. Just a great dude.
He's a good DJ.
And he's a great martial arts school owner right now. So I'm excited just to let everyone know, if you haven't looked up Joey Greenhalgh, look him up. Great guy. Was on JPM for a little bit. Was on CJB. Team Elite. He kind of went back and forth. He was on, of course, pretty much
Straight Up,
the foundation of Team Straight Up. So
absolutely.
You know, he did a lot. You know, some of the bows that you got years ago were either made by him or, you know, he was a part of that as well. So it was cool, man.
I think Joe. So there's a lot of takes I have about Joey Greenhalgh. So I competed against him as well, but I was also in the environment. So when you just sit down, when you talk to Joey, or you just around Joey, it's just a fun time.
Yeah.
Joey also used to do a musical form. No bow, just a musical form.
Oh,
and he's really good. And at the time, we're talking early 2000s, like 1, 2, 3, and 4, right?
Yeah.
So, and he could do some tricks.
Yeah.
He could do some. But when he would do his form, it was like a comedy routine. And he would do certain moves that were, I can't even think of them right now. Like he would make it look like he's slapping someone in the face, right? All sorts of stuff. Like it was hilarious. You watched it and you were like, this is going to be a great time. All right. And I remember one time he did his form and he was like, dang it, that form sucked. And it wasn't even funny. What am I doing?
What am I doing? That's funny.
Oh, it was great.
Man. That's awesome.
But Joey, when you say like he's a great third, I don't think that's giving him like the respect he deserves,
know.
Because he was on other Straight Up teams where
he had
the anchor, or he was the anchor, or he was the number 2. So
Joey would say is he's a great foundation of a team, and then you put the top guys around, or you put other people around. He could always be the one you could count on. Like, all right, we have Joey. Who are we going to put around him? You know what I mean?
You know what I wish? I wish Straight Up had a peak in shape Joey Greenhalgh right now.
See, like I'm saying,
wouldn't that be something?
Because of his intensity and the way that he would get the people going, man. Like he just did. It was cool.
That would be good.
And the thing is, you would have. I mean, I'm not saying that Joe right now isn't pumped, because he is. When you see Joe behind Bailey, he's pumped up. The same thing with Brandon. He's pumped up. But man, if you had Joe and Joe together, man, it's that energy, man, of those two. Like,
have you ever seen them bicker with each other?
Oh yeah, all the time.
That's fantastic.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah. Well, my competitor of the week was once a member of Team Straight Up.
Yes.
Robbie Lavoie. So when I first saw Robbie, I think it was 2003. When I was first noticing this little kid he was like 16, who was ridiculously fast. So,
Yeah.
and my brother Adam's best friend Jason, they were both like at the same age, like really freaking good fighters. So, at the Diamonds that year in 02, no, it was 02. That's when it was. I first saw him. It was 02, and Adam was in the 16-17 taller. Jason was in the 16-17 shorter. So guess who Jason had to match up against, right? He had to match up against Robbie. Never forget this. Now, Jason, no one will ever know who he is, right? Only probably like 3 people in the world now even know who this guy is. Jason was really freaking good, and he was really fast, right? So at one point in the match, Robbie just blitzes Jason to the point where Jason didn't even move. And I'm left here to pump Jason up, right? I'm behind him. Jason turns around to me and goes, "Damn, he's fast." And I'm like, "Hey, you're fast. You're fast. Get out there." Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to put an opinion out here. I think that Robbie has the fastest blitz ever. I think he's the fastest ever, right? When everybody says Ray's or Jottie's was just timing, right?
Yeah.
And his perfect timing, all right? But as far as like 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah.
I actually think Robbie's might be the fastest. Ray's looks like it is. It ain't slow. Ray's is ridiculously fast as well. He just is able to cover so much more ground, right? But pure speed, dang, it's hard to go against Robbie Lavoie, man. I tell you what.
And someone who, like, even as they get older, you know what I mean? Like, he still has it. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
one of the
like,
reasons why I say like All Stars is going to be my team this year.
Yeah,
I think they're going to do it.
I love it, man. I love watching Robbie. He's one of my favorite fighters since. I mean, I guess I think I'm 2 years older than him, 2 or 3. He was probably when he started really competing more nationally. He was like 11 or 12. So he was competing against one of my teammates, Jonathan Hillman, and then also Mark Farringer, and fighting amazing. But, man, back in the day, his forms were awesome too, man.
Oh, okay, for real?
Okay, yeah. Robbie was a top 1 and 2 in NASCAR forms for years, and then he just went focus. So one of the things about Robbie that made him better than most is that he's from Canada, and meaning that he didn't just compete in NASCAR national tournaments. He went overseas every year, competed WKA, huge. Then he ended up getting into it somehow because he was so big on both circuits that the WACO Canadians wanted him in, and he eventually got in there. And then he did whatever else. And then when it switched over to WKC, he was into that. So Robbie has that experience in a lot of different styles of fighting.
He's never had a break.
Before everyone started going over to Europe, like that was the cool thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. I mean, he just, and again, you look at him as a kicker, like amazing
I'll tell you
kicker,
amazing
kicker.
If you fight with your right side, don't come chasing.
Yeah.
Don't come chasing at him.
Right.
You're going to be put on the highlight reel.
Right.
You fight with your right side and you fancy yourself a kicker, don't go chasing after him because you won't see it coming.
That's right.
He's going to spin on you.
Spin, man.
Now, I'll tell you this. So one of my best buddies ever was standing there with me at my wedding, Hamid Feruzzi.
Yeah.
Those two would battle. All right. I think Hamid, as far as fighter for fighter, I think Hamid's a better fighter. All right. So, however, they had a fight one time.
Yeah.
It was in New England Open, and it was a super fight. And Hamid would just reach another level. When you were super fighting, it just fit him so much more because really Hamid was like a super middleweight, light heavyweight in a lightweight's body. That's the way he fought, right?
Yeah.
Right. When we would all train together, the biggest battles were he and BJ Carnahan.
Mm-hmm.
There were wars. Like, you got to be kidding me. Anyway, so It was a 2009 New England Open. Look it up. It's going to be, there's a video of this, okay? Hamid and Robbie both step into each other same time. Bang! Only they both duck. And they hit each other's, their heads hit each other. Boom, like a helmet-to-helmet hit. And Hamid just tips backwards and is out.
Yeah.
Out. Because they both went to punch and they both lowered their head and smashed each other in the head. So, look that one up. Sorry, Hamid.
Where was that at?
New England Open.
New England Open? Okay.
2009.
All right.
Yeah, that one went down.
Yeah.
So I know that video's there. I know it is. So whether it was a blitz kick or it was a sport karate video or it was a sportmartialarts.com, it's there. It's there.
We'll find it.
Yeah. So that is my competitor of the week.
Robbie, awesome, man. Congrats just on your legacy. And same thing with Joey, man. Congrats on your legacy.
Think about it. I mean, this guy, he's been going at a high level like that. Dang, you're almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So many world championships, so many grand championships, lightweight titles, so many, just always going team titles he's won, so pretty cool.
Absolutely.
All right, last thing, man. Should it stay or should it go? So this is a different one. I'm going to say, so should it stay or should it go? Independent leagues. And when I say this, all right, should every regional or local league be under a national or international league? Or should it just be the way it is now where it's just like, hey, we have our Kentucky league down here and we have our Virginia league over here. And you know what? We do our own rules in Texas over here. And, you get what I'm saying? So,
I get what you're saying without the accent.
Yes. So, should it stay or should it go? Independent leagues, or should we go with more local regionalized leagues at a tier level?
Man, I see the benefit for both.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. Having national leagues for a smaller tier tournament is helpful because that was always the thing too. When NASCA stopped with the here's a 17A tournament and here's a 65A tournament. It's just silly. All right.
Yeah.
They had the 1, 2, and 3A NASCA tournaments. Those were just your normal world rated tournaments. Those are the tournaments that we're sitting at right now. That are like 5, 6, 7As, whatever.
Right.
Okay. But then they had the B rated ones, and the double B, and the triple Bs. Those were your locals.
Okay? Those are your regional. Yeah. And they had regional rankings because it was just regional rankings and national rankings.
Now, some of those regionals could be subject to having different rules, but they were also in those rankings.
Yeah.
You would still get your national ranking.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's a lot of benefit to that because what it does is it helps us all pay attention to this tournament. Let's say there was a tournament in South Dakota. I doubt there is, but whatever. All right. So let's say there's one there. It's like, all right, it's a triple B rated tournament. And they just do everything really well. And people start paying attention to it. And then someone goes to it and then it's like, wow, this tournament's great. They have the inside scoop go out there and we're like, hey, y'all are missing out on this tournament. And then we start paying more attention to this tournament and it starts to get bumped up. So we see that, but is always on the tour. It just wasn't on like the world tour.
Right.
See what I mean? So that's helpful. It's not exactly necessary because what that accomplishes by needing to be on that is recognition.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. And in today's age, I could say I'm having a tournament tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I can tell everybody, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. We're living the information age, right?
Right.
So the reason I don't like it though is I don't like big government things.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's true.
I don't like
Okay.
big government things for like your cities, your states, your countries, and I don't love them really for anything. So when I don't like the way something is being run, and I'm supposed to run it, and I have no control over what I'm doing with that, I just feel like that's silly, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you
if
should be
you're
able to
saying-
do your own. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah, so if you're saying, well, no, I don't want to have, 14 different youth forms grand championships. Well, you
Right.
have to because this is what you're doing. Well, then it doesn't serve the purpose then, right? So I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah.
Tell me your thoughts.
So I always liked that. All right, the argument around my area was always, well, this league is just for people to kind of get their feet wet and kind of see what competing is like. And so I'm like, okay, well, then
been
why?
to a lot of those.
Okay, but why are the rules so completely far from what competing actually is, right?
Exactly.
So that was my thing. It's like, you can have, that was something that I always liked about the SKIL and the NBL was that, and the same thing with NASCAR or whatever, it was, okay, this was your underbelt league to get you into that, right? So guess what? You're going to do the same rules as NBL fighting. You're just at a lower level. Like, why be like, all right, for your first tournament, we're going to do first to 5. But next time when you decide, 3 turns up, it's going to be a full 2. It's going to be a full 2 minutes. I don't think that's a way for us to really grow our competitors into what they're doing, because that is a whole different concept of fighting, especially with no time limit first to 5 or no time limit first to 7, which happens a lot where I live. So, you'll have 6-7 minute fights. It's crazy. But that is kind of where I'm at on that, guess what? You want to get going to this? I can get you into this league that, maybe you like this. Now you can kind of get into this one and into this one. And then what the point is that what happens with a lot of these local leagues is that you have those competitors. They've won this local league championship. Now what, right? So they keep doing it again and again. No, they're going to eventually want to find something else, right? So how about you have a league that you still need to do those regional tournaments. It still benefits you to do those and to move up, and that's what is good about that kind of system of doing a regional tournament, doing a national tournament, doing the worlds or whatever it is, having those. It's good and bad because I agree. It's like, I don't think you can micromanage every little thing and say, hey, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. That's why some people never chose to become a national tournament in certain leagues because they liked being a regional. They could have the biggest regional tournament in the Southeast and have a finals and do it the way they wanted to without having the regulations of being a national. But they were still part of that league, and it was still an important event to go to, So I liked it.
Sounds like you're making both arguments.
I think overall, I think that the big leagues need to work their way down. And I think that's what they
big
need to do more
leagues
of.
need to work their way down versus someone who's down needs to work their way up.
No, what I'm saying is like NASCAR for a long time has only had world tournaments. You can say they had a national league and a regional league. They did not. Okay. Now they are seeming to work their way down a little bit more and have more regional tournaments and more things to build their base from local level all the way up.
Yeah, NBL did the best at that.
Yeah, NBL always did the best of that. But and I think WKC is doing a great job at that.
Oh yeah, they're starting to really get that.
Do that. So
yeah.
So I think that whole thing is getting there, But what I mean is like competitors work their way up, but promoters in this thing, if you are a world league, you have to actually kind of have to work your way down. Meaning like from, you are the president. You have to, find all your national promoters, but you also have to find your regional promoters. And you also have to find local promoters and local leagues to work with to build it up. So it has to be a full thing. It can't just be, hey, I have 12 world tournaments. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Well, okay. So if we're coming to a decision, is it should it stay or should it go? Let's make a decision. Okay. I think yes, it should stay. But I like independent tournaments. I like the idea. I like the idea.
No, I like the idea of independent tournaments. I think you can have independent leagues that work with those bigger leagues.
You know why? It's because I don't support leagues as much as I support tournaments.
Right, correct. And I agree with that. I'm just thinking that one independent tournament isn't going to change our sport. One, it's going to be a league that actually does something and does really push it forward that's going to do that in the long run. Now, there could be a series, I think, like a 4 or 5 tournament series or something that's going to push it in a different way. But I don't know. I just think in the traditional sense of sports, it's leagues that, we have.
Yeah, but it's just so hard because the way that our leagues work, they're so exclusive. Like they're like, this is what our league does. We don't want to do anything you do, and you can't be a part of this.
Yep.
They're so exclusive.
But that's martial arts.
That's why I hate that.
Oh, I know, but that's why there's 1,000, probably 1 million styles. That's why, and then each of those styles had their own 2 or 3 leagues that they had.
Yeah,
and then within those styles they broke up because they didn't get along. I mean, it's like religion.
That's a good point.
And everything else, so yeah. But yeah, man.
Okay, so it should stay. I still say it should stay.
All right.
Yeah, the league should stay. That's a good.
All right.
That's a good move. Hey,
that was a good one. Yeah, go.
There's a lot of big events that are coming up. So AKA, that's coming up next weekend.
AKA, yeah. This weekend I'll be at John Chung's.
That's what I was going to get into. So he's got his tournament this weekend.
Yes, and
Ray's got his next fight
next week. It's gonna be awesome.
UFC's got a fight.
UFC's got a fight this weekend.
Cowboy, is it this weekend or is it next weekend?
I think that's this weekend.
This weekend.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
Okay, so it's Cowboy
and Connor.
What do you want?
I want Cowboy to win. Going Cowboy. I always like Cowboy.
I'm going Connor. Nothing against Cowboy. I'm just going Connor.
The thing is, man, I remember seeing Cowboy before he even had a deal on that. Remember when Tap Out had their own little reality show?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah, he was one of the guys on there, man. That was cool. So I always liked that dude. Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's gonna be a great year. I'm excited. I'm excited to hopefully be able to get out there more, do some different things, try some different stuff. Don't know exactly where you'll see me, but we'll see, man.
Hey, have you heard anything? Does Glory have any kind of fights coming up next?
No,
I haven't heard.
don't know.
I haven't heard.
I don't know.
They probably do. They got another one coming. I just haven't heard when it is.
Yeah, I don't remember where it is either. Because I mean, they just had their huge one, 30,000.
Yeah,
40,000 people watching. So
that's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see when Ross's next fight is. Have we heard when that is yet? No?
I don't think so.
So it's going to be exciting, man.
Yeah,
I'm excited to support this. I'm glad that they're, I wish that the whole Bellator kickboxing thing would have worked, but it doesn't really seem like they're doing much with it.
What do you mean? Oh, the Bellator kickboxing you think is done?
What are they doing? Their best fighters doing it. Their best fighters doing MMA. So.
Ray?
Yeah. It
was only one weight class though.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. But Glory is continuing to grow, and I think that's a great way to see more people kind of get in there. And then one is going to grow for MMA and I think they also have kickboxing as well with one. I think they put on kickboxing events as well.
I think I saw that as well. Hey,
Yeah.
what's up with Sage? Is he gonna fight anytime soon?
I think so. They're working on his fight. I've seen a lot of things come out. Hey, who do you want to see Sage fight? Who do you want to see Sage fight? This was back in like November, December.
What does he weigh?
He's a lightweight, right?
I don't know, man. The dude's
He's
got
in that range. So I think there they do. I think in that way they do like a catch weight, which is like 165. Like they go back to I think pride weights.
That dude looks like a cartoon character.
Different. He does. He does.
I mean, yeah, it's wild.
I'm not sure who else is gonna. I'm gonna keep looking out for Hope Chase with her Invicta career. She had a great win, very fast win in her debut. And
that's Invicta, right. We talked about that.
And Invicta is like that one where all the UFC really recruits all their women from there and brings them over. So she's in a good spot for that. And there's several others. I hope that Bobby Cerronio starts getting more active this year with his MMA. And would love to see that. He's got a lot of talent. He's awesome. Who else are we missing that's been active with him? Is Leo going to be coming back again, or what's up with that? You know, he was doing.
I don't know.
For a while, would love to see him.
He's a dad too, you know.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on?
Who knows? So, but man, we got a big year, 2020. I think hopefully someone or two or three steps up and changes forms again this year. I think changes in creative, in weapons, in traditional. I think that can be changed as well. So
I want it to change in music. I'm tired of hearing the same kind of music.
Agree.
No more techno music.
Agree.
No more. Get rid of it.
All right, man. You ready?
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you next week, guys.